Hi everyone, it's Chenzo from Reality Art Pod, here to talk about Week 7's Thursday live eviction episode of Big Brother 27. Last time on Big Brother, Mickey poisoned and killed her 5 competitors in the veto competition, saving herself, and Vinny the Lip nominated Catherine in her place. Before I dive in, I put a link in the description to my playlist to catch up on my recaps. If you like the content, consider liking and subscribing. You can also use my link to try Paramount Plus for free. But let's dive into it, starting with our Thursday night tradition.
What's Julie wearing?
Ooh la la.
Exquisite.
Julie's wearing a shocking, silky linen ivory, I want to call it a suit. Julie looks like Cinderella when her mice made her an outfit out of bed sheets for her outdoor job interview on a hot day. There's a lot going on here. Let's go from the ground up. Julie's little piggies are out tonight, gasping for air inside this monstrosity of a giant palazzo pant. When I think about Morgan Freeman as God, he's wearing these pants walking barefoot in the sand. Then we get to this top, a sleeveless prom tuxedo jacket, 2 tickets to the gun show. Let's get to the house. We pick back up where we left off. Vince just named Catherine as the replacement nominee. Keanu's annoyed that Vince didn't go along with the plan to target Rachel. Catherine calls Vince pathetic. She tells us she's gonna pluck Vince's mustache, 1 hair at a time. No one's happier than Rachel, but she's definitely made note of how obviously Vince was considering targeting her. Vince doesn't want to upset anyone, but now he's upset people. The upset people in question, the people who have Vince's back the most, including his final 2, Lauren. Ashley cracks herself up, realizing that she's told Catherine she has her vote over Kelly where Kelly could hear. She's happy that Vince made his move, but sees Vince as the bottom person in the judges' alliance. In the kitchen, Keanu and Rachel are having a scuffle. He's trying to talk, she's not. She says, "Why don't you turn around and make your little eggs?" and storms away. Keanu confronts Vince for time after time not being a good ally to him, telling Vince that once again he's playing scared. Vince says he's falling into the same routine as his regular life as he makes himself small in his hoodie. This turns into a very inspirational speech from Keanu, interrupted, of course, by Rachel. Rachel worries that Keanu is going to take over Vince's tiebreaker vote. Players campaign. Ashley tells the group that Kelly sucks at the game, which makes Rachel encourage them to consider keeping Kelly. So they think about voting out the better player in Catherine. Lauren is friends with everyone on the block. She tells Ashley that she's thinking of voting Ava out, with Ava sleeping right there, right in earshot of them. When they leave, Ava springs awake, revealing she heard the whole thing. Lauren suddenly remembers that Ava sleeps there, and she returns to the scene of the crime in full panic as Ava pretends to sleep. Lauren runs this story back to Vince, which makes Vince consider evicting Ava to protect Lauren. In the bathroom, Catherine talks to Rachel, asking to build their relationship back up and move on from Rachel evicting her man Riley. She cries about not having had a chance in the game, but Catherine tells us this is acting, and she still can't stand Rachel, but she thinks Rachel has a scary brain and probably would like the idea of teaming up with her enemy. Rachel tells us that she likes the idea of teaming up with her enemy, which brings us to present day, the BB blockbuster competition called Hilltop Heist. Players need to place 5 game pieces on their ramp so their rare red pearl can roll from the top to the bottom. The first player to get their pearl to the bottom wins the challenge. They get started with Catherine first to get her pieces on the board, but ultimately Kelly wins the competition when her ball gets down first and earns her safety for the week. This challenge needed to be a lot harder. It was over in like 30 seconds. Julie reveals that Kelly won the blockbuster, saving herself in a spot where she probably would have been evicted. In the speeches, Catherine makes an attempt, saying anyone who's on the block against Ava will go home, so they should take a shot now. And Ava gives a very serious speech for someone in a red fur boa, but ends it with a YOLO. They get to voting. I have to say Mickey looks absolutely exquisite. Everyone ends up voting to evict Catherine, except for Lauren, who does evict Ava. And Julie reveals that by a vote of 7-1, Catherine's evicted. She gives Lauren a teary hug on the way out. Lauren is devastated by this eviction. Catherine joins Julie. She seems very understanding of the people who didn't vote to keep her. She knew she couldn't count on Mickey's vote, so against Ava, she knew she was going. Julie then reveals that Vince is in a 5-person alliance, the judges, with Vince, Morgan, Rachel, Ashley, and Will. In the graphic they show, they put Mickey's picture instead of Morgan, which is such a huge mistake. Come on now. I know they're not putting these things together on the spot. On Riley, she says she has no regrets for her relationship with Riley, and she feels if it weren't for Riley, she would have been evicted a long time ago. Julie asks her if she wants to pursue a relationship with him. She says whatever happens, happens, but one of the bright sides is she gets to reconnect with him. So we lose Catherine here, who I had high hopes for, preseason ranking her 4th overall, and in the premiere she referred to herself as a raging feminist, which makes it so sad that her whole story on the show is wrapped up in this relationship with Riley, with them over time developing their relationship as fans watched on in horror. For a period, I felt like she was in an okay spot in the game, when Riley was saying he was willing to throw his game away for her, but we learned that after he did go, she was so set back in the game from spending so much time with him. She did make very rational points throughout this week. She shouldn't have gone on the block, and she would have stayed against Kelly, but against Ava, it just wasn't going to happen. While I wanted to see this big redemption arc for Catherine, where she learns to stand on her own 2 feet and triumph, I don't think if she stayed this week, that was going to happen. We actually started to see a very nasty attitude from her, directed at Rachel, and in this case, I think it's best that Riley and Catherine are both out of the game swiftly, and they can deal with this and move on with their lives, though I wouldn't be surprised if she turns up on the challenge sometime, as I actually do kind of enjoy rooting for a queen who gives me nothing, but it gets to a point. So that that ends this episode, but we get some exciting teasers for the next week. Angela's going to come back to be involved in the veto. On Thursday, house guests will find out that they made the jury, and the mastermind will return with an invitation to what I'm guessing is a double or a triple. I think my inner Big Ange is going to come out. This last month's going to be exciting. I'm so excited. So that's all I have to say about this episode. Let me know in the comments what you thought of Kelly winning the blockbuster and Catherine's eviction, and who do you want to see win the next HOH? I'm ready for Ashley week. If you like this video, consider liking and subscribing. I'll be back later tonight with my week 7 player rankings. Until next time, you know where to find me. Bye.